to the issues class, and we're going to be talking about Module 1 and critical thinking skills and how to delve into the problem-solving process. The required readings in Chapter 1 are defined in the syllabus, and also to evaluate your learning, we're going to be doing an informal debate on discussion board, and you can look on discussion board to see exactly how that process is going to take place. So let's start out here with slide 1 that basically says the building block of sound treatment, and that is being able to problem solve in healthcare. I put a short clip on the second slide on a current issue, MRSA, adult childhood obesity, and pregnancy in the H1N1 flu. Please take the time and look at this. It's very short and it's worthwhile to your education. Okay, so in this problem-solving process, what exactly are your responsibilities? Well, as a healthcare provider, you need to be able to recognize health issues and be able to collect the data of the problem, generate some actions to go with that. Along with that, you're looking at all of this problem-solving process and coming up with a solution to the problem. And then, of course, you need to be able to review your results and, if need be, start over with either some of your solutions, trying different solutions, or going back to see if you really defined the process in the first place. So the problem-solving process is really an organized, sequential way to, with steps, problem-solving steps that can be used to identify and manage just about any problem, even in your daily life. The first step is to identify the problem. Second step, gather your information. The third step is to create alternatives. And the fourth step is to choose an alternative and take action. That sounds like a plan, doesn't it? And 5, evaluate and revise, as I said earlier. And this problem-solving process can be used in just about anything. However, identifying the problem, and this is in step 1, it's not always as easy as it sounds. Sometimes problems, we really have to think about what's going on to be able to clearly identify that problem. And not to focus on a symptom, but to get into the real problems. Because sometimes symptoms, there's a lot of symptoms, and you really have to think about what the problem is. So you need to pay attention, observe, and confront the difficult issues head on if need be. And sometimes you need to look beyond the obvious, because sometimes, what's right in front of you really is not the problem at all. And questions, lots of questions. That's how you learn. And do not deny problems, because denial of a problem makes it very difficult to identify the problem. Okay? And now take time to think about that problem. The art of thinking is about thinking. Critical thinking skills improve problem solving and questioning. Ask who, what, why, when, how much. Do I need help? That's an important question. Can I do this alone, or do I need to ask for help? Okay? The knowledge base for this is required in order to provide care safely. So you have to have the knowledge in order to proceed. You wouldn't want to drive a car without learning how to drive first, right? You can't just jump in and expect to be able to do everything. So the next step is gathering your information. The entire problem-solving process is based on the data collected during your assessment. So if you're collecting inaccurate data, you're the process is not going to take place the way it should. Your data has to be accurate and it has to be reliable. And don't act on assumptions, opinions, or emotions. You have to stay as open-minded as possible. Part of your assessment and your gathering of information contains subjective data and objective data. Subjective data are symptoms, okay? This is whatever the patient or person tells you is subjective. Objective data are signs, clear-cut signs. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. So when you're gathering information, and part of that assessment is that subjective data, and as I said, it's whatever the person tells you, because it's subjective. It's like pain. As a nurse, I know that when I go into the patient's room, and the patient states that they're having pain, maybe a scale of 8 on a scale of 1 to 10, I have to believe them that whatever they're telling me is correct. So, subjective is whatever the person tells you. A symptom is a sensation or change in bodily function like pain. And that was a perfect example. Or nausea as well, or a headache. You can't see a headache. And nor can you see pain, so you really have to believe them. And another part of your assessment and the gathering of data is objective data. This is information, is what you see, what you smell, what you hear, what you touch. Signs such as this are indicative of some type of medical problem that you can detect by taking a blood pressure. These are objective signs. I take a blood pressure and I see that it's very high, maybe it's 180 over 100, so I know that that patient is in trouble. They're in hypertension, they have high blood pressure. If I take their pulse and find that it's over 100, then I know that there's something else going on with their heart or emotions that are bringing that up. But all of these data, this written information, the pulse, the heart rate, these are things that are objective, things that I can see. And the third step in the process is to create alternatives. Solutions also, as I said, require the knowledge, the skills, and the expertise. Now let's go back to the blood pressure of high. If I was to take that blood pressure and found that it was 180 over 100, because I'm a nurse, a registered RN, I know the problems that are caused by hypertension and that is a high blood pressure in fact. However, someone that is a CNA or someone at home taking their husband's blood pressure may not know that. So you really have to have the knowledge and skills and expertise behind that to look at that. So creating alternatives, we want to generate a list of solutions along with some actions to go with that and consider all the possibilities. And even if you think that, they're impractical or they may not work, you should still write them down, because sometimes those that we thought would not work at all, they really do work. So we need to consider all the alternatives, both negative and positive, and also the consequences of each alternative and action. In step 4, we want to choose an alternative and take action. Here's where we're actually putting our plan to work. This is so much fun. Our most common difficulty with this stage is a failure to act. Sometimes we're afraid, we let our emotions get in the way, and we're afraid to take that first step. Okay, so that could be a problem with this in this sequence. Okay, follow through opportunities and accomplishments so they're not missed. So that's basically saying that you follow through with your plan, okay, to see if it's going to work. And the decision-making process fosters confidence in making the right decisions. Oh boy, you know, when you take action and you look at all your consequences and your plan, and it turns out just the way you want, there's no better feeling than that. Okay, and now step 5, evaluate and revise as needed. So this is where you're reviewing the results of your actions. You have the confidence, it worked out perfectly, and your plan went well, so you can say that your goal was met. However, that doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes you have to go back and look at what happened, okay? Even the best plan can prove ineffective or have negative consequences, so it's really important to finish this last stage and evaluate, okay? It may be necessary to make some adjustment, and also the needs of the patients change, so we need to consider this as well. And then we look at, I have a picture here of a car breaking down, and the problem solving is being used in everyday activities. Maybe your car hasn't broke down at one point or another, but if it did and you're stranded out here in nowhere, you're going to start using this problem solving step. And these boys, that's exactly what they did. They came up with a plan, they took action, and they solved their problem. Great ending. Okay? Now, in the next slide, I haven't identified a problem, and that is childhood obesity. That's a huge issue today. And, of course, we know that there's a huge problem, as I said, with childhood obesity today. And I have a film here that I'd like you to watch. It's really a must. It's short, and it really looks at the issue of childhood obesity. So then I take you to discussion board and the informal debate and the goals for the debate. The goals really are to look at this problem-solving process in which you're going to be using throughout the next few years at uni, and every course that you take, you're going to be using this process. So it's really critical that you participate in this debate and start using this process. You're going to be working as a member of an interdisciplinary team, a problem-solving group. Current issues for discussion, and I'll have these on discussion board. We're going to talk about the earthquake aftermath in Japan, because this is really a current issue and a problem, isn't it? So I've identified the problem for you. Also, obesity in America. And I'll have you split up into groups, and you'll be able to discuss this with your peers. So, great. This had so much fun with this. I want to thank you, and I really encourage you, if you have any questions, email me, because I will get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. I also included the reference from your book at the end of the slide, and thank you again. I really enjoyed this, this short lesson with you.